Well, and here I have the kids' school records.
Danielle Steele of North Bend has spent the last 10 years gathering evidence, trying to prove she should get custody of her 2 nieces and a nephew, while her sister, the kid's mother, goes to treatment. She says records of fractured bones, burns, and long stretches of missed school days show the kids are in danger.
Showing my nephew missing 52.99 days of school. You did it!
Danielle says an incident in the fall should have been the parents' last chance. Court records show her 3-year-old niece overdosed on tranquilizers.
CPS did not take the children away.
No, they did not, because they said that they did not have enough, there's enough evidence.
While CPS didn't remove the kids from the home, they did give the family a tool aimed at keeping the home safe. A lockbox.
I mean, that is a joke.
The King 5 investigators found early last year, DCYF started giving parents who use drugs like fentanyl lockboxes like this one. And the goal is to keep drugs out of reach so kids don't accidentally eat the pills or powder. But child welfare advocates say that these lockboxes do not account for the highly toxic nature of fentanyl.
That is a true joke, and it's sad. It's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than a lockbox.
Even with a lockbox in the home, another crisis happened. 3 weeks ago, Danielle says the kids got their hands on drugs lying around the house.
The kids started getting into it. That's how they found it. And
none of it in a lockbox.
None of it in a lockbox, yeah.
Houses nowadays.
In November, we reported on a law passed in 2021 aimed at keeping more kids with their parents. We found since then, more children in the state system are dying. State records show in the last 4 years, the number of kids in foster care has plummeted, down 28%. But deaths and near deaths of children involved with CPS went up by 114%.
It's so much more than just a lockbox.
Do you think that you guys are doing this safely?
Yes.
Doreen Perez is an official with the state agency charged with keeping children safe, DCYF.
We certainly think that this is an opportunity to prevent harm. If it's not being provided, then there's no opportunity. And without that, there's no opportunity to try and keep them safe.
DCYF uses several tools to keep kids safe. Services like offering treatment to parents, housing, childcare, parenting classes, social worker visits, and in the last year, a lockbox. Despite these safety nets, kids have suffered dire consequences.
This one right there, he's just beautiful. He's perfect.
Pamela Andrews of Port Townsend took in baby Otis after he was born last Christmas with fentanyl in his system. The CPS safety plan called for the mom to go into treatment and the father to move in with Pamela.
But I should have done more.
But what could you have done?
Ran away with him.
Otis's father was given a lockbox and required to do a weekly urine analysis, but Pamela says it wasn't enough. State and police records show Pamela called CPS repeatedly about the father using drugs, buying urine to fake drug tests, and muffling the child's mouth when he was crying.
Aren't you supposed to do anything and everything? I mean, to try to save them? I mean, I don't understand where that fine line is for them. Why didn't you do something? Why?
Less than 3 weeks after the state decided the father could get custody of him, Otis was found dead. He was in his car seat, left in a bush on a nature reserve. He had meth in his system. Detectives found drugs and paraphernalia on the father. None of it was in the lockbox.
It's beyond heartbreaking. How can you do that to someone? And he deserves so much more.
King 5 spoke to 24 child welfare advocates who were all surprised these lockboxes are part of a safety plan, especially given the death toll associated with fentanyl. From prosecutors,
their solution to that problem is to provide a lockbox as opposed to taking the kid out of the house. That is shocking.
To social workers.
We can't expect a parent who's actively using multiple times a day to remember to safely store their drugs.
Even a mother in recovery and currently using a lockbox says it would be hard to use while on fentanyl.
But like when it comes to fentanyl per se, and that type of drugs, I would have to say, no, they're not good enough because they aren't always used properly.
I have to get them things because their mom can't get them together.
Danielle Steele, whose niece overdosed on drugs last year, says the kids are still living with the parents. She's constantly worried, even with a lockbox.
Children have rights too. They should have rights. And they should have somebody who's looking after them when the parents are not doing it.
These are the kits here. Sometimes a lock bag is given to travel, as well as Narcan right here. Now, the kits cost up to $100, which the state pays for. And I asked, but DCYF didn't tell us how many boxes have been given out. They did say it's been a lot.
Does this problem all stem from the fact that the law that you mentioned in your stories is getting in the way, making it harder for them to take kids away from their parents?
Well, DCYF says it is not the law, and actually it is fentanyl that is causing these kids to die. It's not keeping families together, which is what the law said that it was supposed to do. But if you look at that timeline, these kits did start going out as the law was implemented. And there could be a change in the law in this next legislative session. Joyce, Greg.